Hi everyone. So I don't talk about Donald Trump too much on my channel. Certainly don't dedicate many videos to him, just simply because other outlets cover him way more than me. People like, David Pakman and TYT cover him almost constantly. So there's no need for me to do it. However, he's landed in the UK and it needs talking about. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to do a few videos on him today. Shoot me. I'll do other videos as well, I promise. So he landed in the UK last night, and within a matter of hours, details of an exclusive interview he gave with the shittiest newspaper on the planet, The Sun, owned by Rupert Murdoch. So it's not a surprise that he did the exclusive interview with his best buddy Rupert Murdoch. But within a couple of hours, within a matter of hours, he'd said a multitude of things that pissed people off. And I'm going to delve into what he said in that interview with The Sun for these videos, because it's important to really get the facts of what he said rather than the headlines and what the news media want to run with. Because all the news media for the last week, all they have been interested in really is this giant baby Trump balloon that's meant to be floating over the UK. And I think it's in London that it's meant to be floating over. This giant balloon that's meant to be massive. They were talking about it all week. It's going to be huge. Here it is. I've seen bigger balloons at birthday parties, at kids' birthday parties than that. And that's what the newspapers and the media in this country, and I shit you not, they have been absolutely fixated on this giant balloon. And that's the size of it. Just shows how shit the media are. So this is the headline from The Sun. They released details of this interview last night. And the top topic, if you like, is obviously Brexit and what is said about Brexit. So The Sun lead with, May has wrecked Brexit, the US deal is off, with a picture of Donald Trump. And obviously that's what they're saying his message is. Here's what he's actually said. I've got several clips that he said in this interview on Brexit. But here's the first part of the interview and what he actually said. Take a listen.
Well, if they do a deal like that, it will most likely, because we'll be dealing with the European Union instead of dealing with the UK. So it will probably kill the deal with, if they do that, their trade deal with the US will probably not be made.
Mm. What did you mean by
because we have enough difficulty with the European Union. We're cracking down right now on the European Union because they have not treated the United States fairly on trade. Mm. No, if they do that, I would say that would probably end a major trade relationship with the United States.
Yeah, so he said that there would be no need to do a separate trade deal with the UK if the UK go down this softest of soft Brexit approaches like they have done in this published white paper. There would be no need to spend all that time and energy and years. In Canada, it took years to finalise their details with the EU. So there'd be no need to spend all that energy and effort to do a trade deal with a separate trade deal with the UK if they can still deal with him through the EU. What's the point? There's no point. It'd be a waste of energy, waste of time, waste of money. So yeah, he's right there. So how would he, Donald Trump, have done Brexit differently?
I would have done it much differently. I actually told Theresa May how to do it, but she didn't agree with it. She didn't listen to me.
What did you say?
She didn't listen. No, I told her how to do it. That will be up to her to say. But I told her how to do it. She wanted to go a different route.
Mm. So you would be prepared to walk away if they didn't give you the right terms?
Oh, absolutely. I think what's going on is very unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's too long. Deals that take too long are never good ones.
Mm. What did you mean by the UK
when a
being
deal
too long?
takes so long, it's somehow, they never work out very well. I did give Theresa, who I like, I did give her my views on what she should do and how she should negotiate. And she didn't follow those views. I would actually say she probably went the opposite way. If you really look, she probably went the opposite way. And that's fine, she should negotiate the best way she knows how. But it's too bad what's going on.
It sounds like you would do it a hell of a lot differently. I'd go so far as to say if Donald Trump was the PM of this country, perish the thought. But if he was PM of this country, honestly, he'd probably do a better deal on Brexit than Theresa May. But that's honestly in my opinion. I despise the man, I really do. But I'd rather have him doing the Brexit negotiations than Theresa May. I really would. I know that's going to shock some people, but hey, he would scare. He would scare them. I can imagine what he's told Theresa May there to do is just say, okay, bye. We're gone. Hard Brexit it is. We're gone. And then immediately the EU are on the back foot because they're going to lose a lot. Now, we would lose a lot as well in the UK, but that would be the stance he would take. I don't particularly think that it would be the right thing to do because essentially you're saying, as I've said before, if you don't give us what we want, we're going to shoot ourselves in the face. But it would be a hell of a lot better than what Theresa May's done. And that's a load of platitudes, a load of hot air saying that she's going to be a bloody difficult woman, and then proposing the softest of soft Brexits that she possibly could do. It was pretty pathetic. But he goes on in this interview to talk about Theresa May. Just take a listen to what he said next.
Well, I think the deal that she's striking is not what the people voted on. It's a much different deal than the people voted on. It was not the deal that was in the referendum. You know, I've just been hearing this over the last 3 days. I guess you've been just hearing about it over the last 3 days. I know they have a lot of resignations, so a lot of people don't like it. No, but it'll definitely affect trade with the United States, unfortunately in a negative way.
The old "this is not what we're voted for" line. It's not completely true. I understand him saying it. I do, and I understand other people saying it. It may not be what he thought a Brexit was, and it may not be what a lot of people who voted for Brexit wanted, but not everybody. And certainly not a massive percentage, a high percentage. Yes, it might have been over half, but it's not 80 or 90% wanted this. It's more like half, if you ask me, although I've got probably no data to back that up. Other people wanted the EEA Norway-like model. Other people who voted Leave wanted that. It was talked about constantly during the debates around the referendum. So a lot of people voted expecting that they were going to get the Norway model. A lot of people voted expecting that they were going to get some other deal with the EU and stop the free movement of people. So a lot of people will be happy with what Theresa May and the Tories have been proposing, which is this soft Brexit, which I've been saying that's what they wanted all along. So he's not completely right there, but I do understand them saying that this is not what people voted for. But here's the thing. All of this talk surrounding Brexit at the moment and this white paper, it's sort of glossing over what is really going on underneath here. Because there is something happening underneath. I think it's quite obvious. And so does this guy. And I'm sorry to bring him up, but for those of you who are lefties who watch my channel, but Steve Bannon here was on Good Morning Britain this morning, and he was absolutely right, if you ask me.
About your white paper is that the EU has already said, guys in Brussels said last night, there's no chance that we accept this. So you kind of try to meet them 3/4 of the way, and they have no interest in trying to meet this. I think this, once again, you see the corporate influence in the City of London, okay, that have wanted to slow walk this thing from day one. They do not want Brexit. They particularly don't want a hard Brexit. It's just like in the United States, you've seen this kind of this movement to make sure that Trump's presidency doesn't go well, okay? You know, they fought Donald Trump tooth and nail, the elites. And you've seen the same thing. Brexit in 2016, I keep saying Brexit kind of was the foreshadowing of the 2016 campaign. These ideas are kind of like a contagion that can move.
Know.
It's not very often I agree with Steve Bannon, but I agreed with every word of that. It does seem to me, the more I look into this, that this is being slow walked, as slow at sloth pace as possible, and then at some stage they're just going to scare the UK into having another referendum, or just going to ignore the result. I spoke about this the other day. Whenever there's a vote within the EU that the EU don't like, they either ignore it or make the vote happen again. Could that happen with Brexit? The other thing he said there, which I thought was really interesting, was Theresa May has gone down this route now with this white paper, which is the softest of soft Brexit. That's pretty much what the EU couldn't have wished really for anything better than this. And Steve Bannon saying the rumours from the EU are they've already said we're not going to do that. Are they just literally the EU just going to say no to everything? Because that's a very, very real possibility, especially if you look at the giant companies and the giant financial companies within Europe. Now, this is a bugbear of mine in the UK, and that's the tax avoidance schemes within the EU. And it's specifically within the EU. The EU makes this kind of tax avoidance scheme possible. I forgot what the name of it is now. It's something like a double Dutch with an Irish sandwich. If I remember it, I'll put it up here. But if one of these large companies, we'll say Facebook have got their UK outlet. Now, whenever they obviously make money in the UK, what they've also got then, and if I can find the picture, I'll put it up over my left-hand shoulder. But if I can, they have got a door in Holland where it's literally just a little plaque that says Facebook. Nobody works there. No mail goes there, nothing. All they do is hold the trademark for Facebook at that office. There's one building in Holland, I remember. It's just one building, and it's got something like 5,000 companies there that do this. So this is a real thing that goes on with the EU, especially in the UK. So the company, Facebook, make money in the UK. They obviously send a shitload of that money over to Holland to their trademark. The trademark company in Holland then sends a load of that money over to some sort of financial company they've set up. Remember, these are all Facebook's companies. Some sort of financial company they've set up in the Isle of Man or in Ireland. And then their company in the UK, get this, this is going to blow your mind if you followed me for long enough and you didn't understand this. But their company in the UK can then take a loan of that money from this company say they send 100 million to their company in the Isle of Man. Facebook UK can then loan that 100 million of their own money off their own company, then pay it back to their own company with interest. So they're paying interest to themselves on money that they already own, and then claim that interest back on their tax returns. That is how they do it. That is why if I go into Wolverhampton City Centre, I've talked about this a lot. There's a Starbucks, and then there's a couple of doors away there was a nice little cafe that was run by a lovely woman. She was absolutely lovely. That cafe, which probably turned over, I don't know, 100,000 a year, 200,000 a year, was having to pay 25% income tax per year on everything that they made. Starbucks, 3 doors away, makes billions a year and paid zero tax. None. How is that fair? All of this is made possible because of the EU. At least I think so anyway, from what I can tell. No expert on this, but it's just something I've looked at and I've thought, well, these things must be connected. These giant corporations, these giant companies, these giant financial services who are doing this tax avoidance system, they are going to lose billions if we actually do leave the EU with a hard Brexit. I think those two things are connected. Obviously, so does Steve Bannon, and I would say Trump does as well. But lots of people feel this way. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. To be honest, I'm going to cover what Trump said in the rest of that interview in another 2 or 3 videos. I don't talk about him a lot, but I can do that because he's in the UK. But what he said on Brexit there, I don't necessarily disagree with any of it. Let me know what you think. But I definitely think they're trying to slow walk this into a no deal and then scare the public into either voting again or they're going to ignore the vote, which, as I said, wouldn't be the first time the EU have done that. If you enjoyed this video, please click the bell down there and subscribe so you get a notification of next time I drop a video. Also, I can't do this without your help, so if you can afford it and you enjoy my videos, please support the channel by subscribing to my Patreon. Link is down there. You can do it for as little as $1 a month, and it really does help. If you can't afford it, that's fine. Please share my work and talk to other people about the issues that I bring up. Thanks very much for your support. Until next time, peace and take care.